Easy Tribe, this is Dusty Ohms. Welcome to my freemium video. I'm going to be making an 8-bit arpeggiated kind of chiptune lead sound in Reason, and for this I'm going to be using the Subtractor synthesizer. Right, so I've dragged one of them straight into the project, and the first thing I'm going to do is go to our oscillator 1 and pick a square wave for our waveform. So if I hit a key, nothing too exciting there. So we'll open the filter frequency right the way up to get some brightness, and then we'll add some noise by clicking that on and turning the level right down to maybe about 30-28-ish, and that just adds a little bit of fizz on the top end there. Now I always like to have a sub oscillator, so if we click oscillator 2 on and click through the waveforms until we find the sine wave, bring that down 2 octaves below, and then use this dial for the mix to have it so there's only about 30% of the sine underneath the square. We'll add some portamento there just for some swing once we get the arp going, and let's have a little listen to that. Pretty simple, nothing too exciting going on at the moment, so that's where our RPG-8 comes in. So if you go over to your browser, in the utilities you have that, and we drop that underneath the device and it automatically wires this in, but you have to note that it doesn't play unless you put the lane of notes onto the actual arpeggiator track. If you leave it on the Subtractor or the device that you've got it on, the unit won't play. So I've already drawn some chords in, and if you listen to them as they are, they're pretty boring. So now, when we drop them down straight onto this ARP track, you'll hear straight away it in action. Lovely. Right, so down to the controls. I kind of like a triplet. So this rate here, if we turn that down to 1/8 triplets, and we'll have this covering 2 octaves, so it sweeps up and down, and I kind of like them to be running down. So now when we press play, you'll hear sounded nice. Maybe I'll turn a little bit of the portamento down because it's got quite a lot of swing there. Right, so next thing I like to add is some effects to make it sound a little bit more retro. So if we go up above, open this and drop actually open that up, insert effects, and drop in one of these Audiomatics. Now if you click on the circuit, you can get a real kind of mangled up crispy 8-bit sound, but it can be a little bit harsh. So I'm going to go with this VHS and dial the dry wet, and that just gives it a nice bit of shine on the top end, and yeah, it makes it kind of compact. Yeah, it gives it kind of retro feel. And then if we add an echo as well in there, give it a nice little bit of delay, and we'll dial the wet dry back. And if we increase the ducking, that means whenever a note's playing, it will kind of cancel out the delay until there's not a note over the top of it. It stops it getting too messy. So let's have a little listen to that now. Make sure it's not. And maybe the feedback down a little bit. Lovely. And then one more effect we'll have on there, just to really open it up, is an RV7000 with some reverb. Now if we go down to the EQ, we can carve out the low end frequencies, and then that way bring these down with these dials. So now it stops all the low end getting muddy, and you'll only hear the reverb on anything above the frequency we've got there. So if we turn the wet dryer down, sounding really nice now. Right, now lastly, we'll get some automation to make that a little bit more interesting. So if we go down to our RPG-8 and we right click edit automation on the rate, and we'll also right click edit automation on the mode. Now when we come down to the lanes here, we'll draw in a little box, and maybe for this we'll have the rate drop down in value there, and we'll draw another box for the chord here, and we can have that one as a quick one. Maybe we'll have that for just half of that. Now also, if we click into this mode lane, draw that out. Nice thing about Reason is it does live automation, so as this changes you can see what dial it go onto. So we will have it on the up and down just to add some randomness in there. So if you increase the bar by 1, and now when we play it you'll have a nice interesting ARP sound going on. So there you have it, a nice 8-bit chiptune lead sound. If you enjoyed that video and you want to check out my full course, head over to Education and Bass. I'll be covering synthesis and workflow in Reason, so catch you there. Peace.